I discard what I have understood to be the more widely accepted view of the two roads, one of a secular world going to hell and the other one of a Christian world going to heaven. And the reason why I reject this is because Jesus was talking to Jewish people and his disciples. Both groups thought that they were going to heaven, but Jesus was saying that only one group will actually make it. The Jewish religion at this point in time had turned into a religion of a lot of rules and regulations. And what I mean by this is that they had taken what God had told them and put their own spin on it, or they put stuff into the scripture that wasn't supposed to be there, or they just took things out of context altogether. One of the things that they believed was that since they were Jews, they were God's people and that they were okay. I think this is one of the reasons why the Pharisees didn't like Jesus too much, because he kept telling them that even though they were God's chosen people, they were still sinners. So many times I've heard people talk about how us as Christians are so much more mature in God than what the Jewish people were back then. But how many people who are weekly churchgoers who have been going to church 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 or 30 or more years have a system that they follow that makes them feel good about themselves? I mean, doesn't the Bible actually say that we shall know them by their fruits? I've heard people use this in a Christian context, and certainly as Christians we can get caught up in seeing people's actions and thinking people are saved. But when Jesus said this, he was talking about false prophets. He was saying that you shall know the false prophets by their fruits. I certainly don't believe that our fruits or our actions of our faith, or however you want to put it, necessarily prove our salvation. But I think we seriously need to think about what Jesus said about the narrow road, that only a few find it. I also believe that if you think that your good deeds are going to get you to heaven in some way, I think you need to reevaluate your position with Christ. I think all of us actually probably should reevaluate our position with Christ to make sure that we are not trying to do good things, or that God is somehow pleased with us because we do good things, and that He'll get us into heaven because we are doing whatever is good. It seriously scares me when I go to church and I think about this stuff, and I hope that the people who I think are going to heaven are really going to heaven.